Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna make 5 different varieties of muffins out of one muffin recipe. It's my favorite muffin recipe. The muffins always come out moist and it's really versatile, which means I don't have to have 27 different recipes for 27 different types of muffins. Now the muffins that we're making today are going to be blueberry, the famous banana crunch muffin you all have been waiting for, a lime in the coconut, muffin, and a carrot cake muffin, and a zucchini chocolate chip muffin. So come along. If it gets loud and you hear banging, it's because my lovely Mr. Reeve is out trying to bang T-posts into the frozen ground. If you don't know, we live off-grid in Alaska, and we're trying to get ready for winter, so that might be going on in the background, so you'll just have to ignore that. Okay, so let's get started. First, you need 1.25 cups of flour. And you can use really whatever flour you want. It's one of the things, one of the other things I really like about this recipe is you can use whatever kind of things that you like that makes your heart happy. Then we need 1 egg. These are some of our water glassed eggs because our chickens are freeloaders now because there's not enough daylight. So after I water glass the eggs, then I just pull them out of the bucket, rinse the stuff off, and put them in this little thing that sits in the fridge that my lovely neighbor gave me. Let me cheat and look at my recipe here. Okay, then we need 1/2 cup of oil. This is some safflower oil that I got super discount from Azure Standard, but you can use whatever kind of cooking oil makes your heart happy at your house. We need 1/3 cup of milk. This is just some goat's milk that I had canned up. You can use whatever kind of milk you want. And you don't really need the fat in it anyway, so if you wanted to use water, you could. Like in a pinch, you could use water. If you wanted to make an orange flavored muffin, you could use orange juice. It isn't necessary exactly for it to be milk. So the liquid is versatile also. All right, 1/3 cup of milk. We need a teaspoon of vanilla. So this first recipe here, that I'm making, we're gonna make just kind of like the regular basic muffin recipe, and then I'll add some blueberries in it so that we can call it blueberry muffins, okay? But this is the basic recipe that you're going to use for all the muffins, and then we'll do a bunch of different varieties today where I'll show you kind of how I exchange things out and how I make it taste to be whatever kind of muffin I want. Okay, now we need 2/3 cup of sugar. I just use my 1 cup measuring cup because it's easy and I kind of guesstimate, okay? Okay, then you need a teaspoon of baking soda. You can hear that banging. Mr. Reeve is working hard. He will definitely be our taste tester today though, okay? So for those of you that love Mr. Reeve, he'll be here today. Just he can't really help me make muffins today because he's super, super busy. And we need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This is just some Redmond's livestock salt that I ground down into table salt, which we have used, I don't know, every day for a long time now. So, okay, so that is the basic idea. Then you're gonna add 1/2 cup of something mushy and wet. So, in this one, it's gonna be sour cream, okay? And I'll show you how you can kind of switch it out for some of the other varieties. Okay, so this here will create a basic muffin that's very lovely and very moist, okay? I have my oven preheated at 375. Well, it's preheating now. See, preheating. So, now I'm gonna add some frozen blueberries. I don't know, maybe 3/4 cup or a cup. I'll dump it in and see what I like, okay? All right, let's put a cup in and see what we think. We'll just do a splash more. And then we'll put it in our muffin tins. Now, if you didn't want to use muffin papers like I do, you know, you just grease the pan and stick them in there, right? No big deal. I use muffin papers because I live off-grid and I have to do all my dishes by hand and we haul all of our water. Looks like I need one more, but I don't want to do all that work. So we use papers. Let me get one more paper and then we'll fill these up. All right, now we just fill up our little muffin papers. I fill it about 2/3 of the way. And I use my fingers. Making a mess. I try really hard not to get the muffin batter on my pans because, again, you know, washing dishes, all the things. But sometimes it is what it is, especially when you're dealing with sloppy batter. I think I'm going to get this last one out of here, but it doesn't have any blueberries in it, so I better sneak some in there. All right, sneak a couple blueberries in there. Poke them in there. Bye-bye, blueberry muffin. And then I'm going to wipe off the stuff that I got on the pan because it's much easier to clean now than after you cook it, which I'm sure most of you know that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Our oven's already preheated. Yay. Now this recipe bakes for 25 minutes at 375, but because I added frozen blueberries, then I'm going to cook it for 5 extra minutes, so it'll be in the oven for 30 minutes, okay? And now let's get to the most requested muffin, the banana crunch muffin. We're gonna start with our same basic recipe, okay? So we need a cup and a quarter of flour, 2/3 a cup of sugar. Ooh, hard to hold with one hand. Half a cup of oil, an egg, a teaspoon of baking powder, teaspoon of vanilla, quarter of a teaspoon of salt. Made that a big one. We better put some of that back. And 1/3 of a cup of milk. Okay. Now for our something wet and mushy this time, we're going to add 2 bananas. Now these bananas are not old bananas. I just bought them at the store yesterday. So you could use brown bananas and that would be fine, but we didn't have any and I couldn't bring myself to spend money on brown bananas. So sorry friends, I bought fresh bananas and those banana peels will go in the pig bucket to feed the piggos. All right, so usually brown bananas mush up pretty easy, and so I don't expect these to mush up that great, but we're gonna maybe try. See what we can get out of this here. There we go. You could use a potato masher inside another bowl or something like that if you wanted to too. Oh yeah, that's mashing up real nice. Now those 2 bananas probably came to a little bit more than half a cup of wet mushy stuff, but it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, we got that pretty well mixed up now. Here's the magic, okay? So these are banana chips that I got from Azure Standard. They're organic bananas and cooked in organic coconut oil with non-GMO cane sugar. So I'm pretty happy about that. I don't know, like maybe 3/4 of a cup, okay? And I'm just gonna mix them in there, okay? Now they are going to reconstitute a little bit in this batter. Okay, but that's not the crunch part. That's just the extra yummy banana part. Okay, so let me get this put into muffin papers and then I'll show you the crunch part. Okay, so for the banana crunch muffins, we're gonna add a little bit of a topping. I have maybe 1/4 to half a cup of instant oats in here in this little bowl. And then I'm just gonna take a handful. Oh, I don't know. Maybe 1/2 a cup, a little bit more of these banana chips, and I'm going to cut them up. All right, I think I'm going to use a little bit more than that. Okay, so in the end, all these little bits chopped up maybe makes about a cup's worth, okay? So we're going to dump that in our bowl, and then we're going to put some brown sugar in it. Just a little bit, I think. Maybe a couple tablespoons. So, yeah. Probably 3 tablespoons total. Okay, and then I'm just gonna mix it up. There we go. And then that's gonna top all of our little muffins. These muffins are a little bit fuller than the other ones because, well, we added the volume of 2 bananas in here, right? So that makes a difference. Then we're just gonna sprinkle it on each one and kind of divide it up. Now, when this cooks in the oven, those banana pieces aren't going to reconstitute like the ones in the middle. So that makes the little crunch, and the brown sugar makes almost like a little, I don't know, toasted glaze. You can think about it like that, or a little sugary crust on top. And that makes it really good. Okay. We kind of shared and shared alike here. Get all these covered. Okay, and then they're gonna cook in the oven the same time as the blueberry muffins if I hadn't put frozen blueberries in it, that same 25 minutes. Okay, so all we have to do now is wait 8 more minutes for those to be done. And then I bet I can convince Mr. Reeve to come in and be our taste tester in just a minute. So we'll wait for that to happen. I'll go coax Mr. Reeve in here and I'll get this cleaned up for our next muffin, which is going to be my most exciting muffin, I think, and I'm calling it Lime in the Coconut. Okay, as you see, our blueberry muffins got done. When I'm using that stone bakeware, I like to pop the muffins out right away because that stone muffin pan stays hot for a long time and I don't want it to overcook the muffins. So they're cooling, and also I need to reuse that stone pan, so it needs to cool down real quick. Mr. Reeve says he'll be in a little bit. He's right in the middle of something. So I've already got our next batch started. We have our original 8 things that belong in this muffin recipe: the sugar, the salt, the flour, the egg, the oil, the baking soda, milk, and the vanilla. Okay, so those are the 8 things. Now we need our something wet and mushy, right? So this is going to be a coconut lime muffin, lime in the coconut to be precise. And so I'm going to add some of this coconut cream that I got from Azure Standard. I love this stuff. It's way cheaper than I can get around here, and a better quality. It doesn't have guar gum. It's organic, and it's cheaper than I can get just the regular old kind with all the additives that I don't necessarily like. So this is going to be our wet mushy thing, and it's also going to add some additional fat. Like this, I think, is 22% fat, and the sour cream, remember, in the original recipe is 18%. So it's about the same. It's fine for it to be switched out, okay? So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we need a 1/2 cup, and I'm going to do a little bit extra just because I'm going to add an additional dry ingredient in here, okay? So that's our something wet and mushy. These are some, they're like fine coconut flakes. They're not, here, let's see if I can show you. They're like smaller than the size of rice. And it's unsweetened. And I'm going to add probably a 1/2 cup of this just to the batter in this recipe, which is why I added that little bit of extra coconut cream, because when it melts, it'll be, you know, just like a fat like butter that sour cream was. Okay. And I'm going to add just a tiny bit of a coconut extract, and you wouldn't have to do that if you weren't comfortable adding that type of an additive. But I think maybe I'm just going to do a 1/4 teaspoon. Not much, because there is going to be a decent coconutty flavor in this, but coconut's pretty a mild flavor, right? So we're just going to add a tiny titch. Okay. And we'll get that mixed up. Okay, we want to mix it up really good because that coconut cream isn't melted, right? So we need to really get it all mashed up and mixed up in there. It smells really good. I don't know if you like coconut, but if you like coconut, this is the jam, dude. This is awesome. I'm very excited. Okay, so see how we're doing on our time before the next one comes out. Ooh, 11 minutes. Oh yeah, I put the banana muffins in there just while you were gone. Okay, I'm going to get the next muffin pan ready, and then I will show you the lime that goes in our coconut. Okay, so now we are ready to do our batter, okay? Now we're going to fill each of these about 1/3 of the way full first. Okay, so now here's the lime part. Once I find my spoon. I made this lime curd, and we need to use it up. So, whew, yummy. So now we're just going to take a little dollop of lime curd. Lime curd's like lemon curd, right? But it's just made with limes. And I'm going to try to keep it just in the center. And maybe I'm thinking about maybe 2 teaspoons worth, okay? In the middle, maybe up to a tablespoon. But we're just gonna stick it right in the middle, and I will bring you close so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so we're just taking a tiny bit and we're gonna stick it right in the center. And I'll show you in a minute why that part's important. Okay, so now that we have all of our little dollops of lime curd in there, we're gonna take a little bit of this batter and we're gonna try to make sure that that lime curd doesn't end up touching the edges, because we want it to be like a little fun bite in the middle. Okay, and I kind of use my fingers to help spread it around a little bit. There we go. Now when you're doing this part, it's really easy to use up too much of the batter that you have left. So you kind of have to be conservative with it. It's easy just to pile it all on there and then you get to the last muffin and you have no batter left. So, which I think might be a problem for me. We might have to skeef some from some of the other ones, we'll see. Ooh, probably, yep. That's okay. It usually happens that way for me. I got one more that needs to be covered up a little bit, and then I think we made it. Okay, there we go. That is beautiful. Okay, so now for the topping, super easy, okay? So now I have these more like sweetened coconut shreds. They're a little bit bigger pieces. Here, I'll try to show you. I mean, it's just like the regular shredded coconut that you would get, okay? And you could toast it if you want, but I am not going to toast it today. It might get toasted a little bit in the oven, but I am not gonna worry about it too much. I feel like this muffin is fancy enough. He can have a more plain topping. You don't need no toasted coconut. Okay, ooh, the sun is coming out. Hooey mama. We've been really fortunate here in Alaska. It's usually snowed by now and we'd be buried in snow and shoveling every day, but it's been cold, which is fine, but it's been cold and clear. And that means that there are no clouds to bring snow, which is really great because it gives us extra time to get our projects done that we didn't get done before winter, like every Alaskan. Ooh. Every Alaskan has a list longer than they can handle getting done for the summer. So anyways, let me get this out of the oven. We'll pop these in and then we'll see if Mr. Reeve's ready yet. Okay, we got our banana crunch muffins out. The coconut muffins are in and they are gonna cook for that same 25 minutes. Okay, on to number 4. Ooh, 4. On to number 4. We're gonna make carrot cake muffins. Since you were gone, my stove ran out of propane and Mr. Reeve had to come in and switch that out. So I turned the stove off so that the fire wasn't running while he was switching out propane. And so I lost the timer, so I kind of had to guesstimate. So I figured today might be a nice time for me to show you how to check if a muffin's done or not, because I don't know if that time's accurate. But see if we can get done in 6 minutes, right? Okay, so we have our regular base all mixed up already, all of our 8 things, right? For our wet and mushy thing, we're gonna add, you could add applesauce if you wanted, or you could add sour cream to this. Really you could add wherever you wanted as long as you thought it tasted good, but I made this pear butter that we need to eat up, so I'm gonna use that instead of applesauce, which is what I would use if we didn't have the pear butter. And so we're gonna do about a half a cup of that, and I'm gonna measure this because it's got a lot of liquid in it and I don't want it to mess up my batter, so I'm actually gonna make sure it's the right amount this time. Okay, so we have our half a cup of wet and mushy, and now I'm gonna try to get a cup of carrots out of this. These are some carrots from the Rempel farm, which is a local farm here in Alaska. I mean local, like, I don't know, an hour away local. But they are awesome, and we had a friend that gifted them to us. We were very fortunate, so hopefully these 2 big carrots will make a cup. See how far we got. Oh, okay, looks like I'm just using one big carrot because that is more than enough. I think we're going to put it all in there. I think if we squished it down real hard, we could call it a cup. So that's what we're doing. Okay. Ooh, that's going to be yummy. And the carrots will add a little bit of moisture also. So these will be deliciously moist, and they don't have the extra fat like when we added the sour cream or that coconut cream, but that'll be fine because it has lots of moisture in it that isn't fat related. Okay, so now let me find a hand towel so I can wipe my hands. Okay, now my pear butter had already some seasonings in it like nutmeg and cinnamon and ginger and all that yummy stuff, but I'm going to add a teaspoon more of cinnamon because why not, right? Okay, oh, it doesn't fit in there, dang it. Okay, teaspoon of cinnamon and cardamom. Cardamom is a nice replacement for ginger. It's a little bit more expensive, but I buy it in bulk and it's delicious. So I'm going to add somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cardamom. Yummy. And some nutmeg. My lovely friend Miss Sandy gave me this little rasp guy, and it does not chop your fingers off, so it's my favorite. And so I'm going to go until I think, owie. Well, see, I still got my skin. It just hurt. That's good. Poor finger. Okay, slow down, Crystal, and do one thing at a time. We're going to go till we have 1/4 teaspoon. There we go. Good. Yep, see, look. No blood. All my skin's intact. Pretty impressive, right? Just a little rug burn happened, that's all. Okay, so we get that all mixed up. And then we'll get that in the muffin tins. Did I tell you Mr. Reeve just wants to wait till he gets all the muffins at one time and he can sit down? He's really trying to get those animal pens finished, so he doesn't want to be interrupted, even for muffins. Isn't that crazy? I thought for sure I could get him to stop for muffins. But alas. All right, how do we do on time? Ooh, we were fast. Okay, so let me get the muffin papers in the muffin pan, and then we'll add a simple topping to this one. Okay, Detour, the muffins have beeped, and so I want to show you. If you push down on it and it stays squished in, they're not done yet. They should bounce back like a cake. So these probably need, oh, I don't know, probably at least 5 more minutes. Okay, let me show you. See how it bounces back now? Doesn't stay squished in. Then you know it's done. And if you didn't have asbestos fingers like I do, you could use the back of a spoon and just watch what happens. All right, as you saw, we got the lime and the coconut muffins out of the oven. They came up at an unexpected time because, well, like I said, I shut the timer off. So, okay, so now we're back to the carrot muffins. And we're just gonna add a little bit of brown sugar at the top. You could put some cinnamon if you wanted with it. You could add a little bit of oats if you want. You could even put a little bit of nuts in it if you want and make like a little topping. But we're just gonna do brown sugar today. Okay, now this is gonna go in the oven just like our other ones for 25 minutes. And then I'll meet you back and I'll get us ready for our very last one, zucchini chocolate chip bread. Okay guys, we have our last mix in the bowl, our original 8 ingredients, remember? And then for our wet and gushy thing, we're gonna add sour cream this time. Get it all mixed up. Okay, now we need to shred some zucchini. If you had frozen zucchini that you had shredded, you could use that, easy cake. I'm gonna add about a cup and a half, okay? This zucchini is beautiful. He's from our garden and he's been sitting. We have a cold room under our cabin that doesn't use any power because Mr. Reeve is really smart. And so it's at about 43 degrees, which is perfect for storing our vegetables down there. So he is like perfect. I'm shocked because they're often fairly fragile zucchinis. All right, so I think I'm just gonna shred until I think I have enough. All right, let's see. Yep, good enough. Might be a little more than a cup and a half, but it'll be okay. It's fine. I think so anyways. Oh yeah, it's totally fine. All right, so we're gonna chuck that in there. I'm gonna add some of these diced almonds to this one. You could add whatever you wanted for nuts, or you didn't have to add nuts at all, but I figure it's got chocolate chips in it, so really we could use a little more nutrition than that. Oh, I haven't used this yet. Look at, they even put it in an extra bag for me. That was nice. I'll probably put half a cup. Really, it's just gonna be a handful, but for measurement, I'll tell you it's half a cup, okay? How about that? Now, I think an extra half a handful, so we're going with 3/4 of a cup of nuts in here, okay? All right. You stay there, don't fall over, make a big mess. And probably 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. If you didn't want to put nuts in there, I would put a whole cup of chocolate chips in there. Mmm. Oh my gosh. Okay, and we need some cinnamon, and I think that's all we're gonna add to this one. We don't need to make it too fancy, right? So probably about a teaspoon of cinnamon. There we go. All right, now these are gonna go into the muffin papers, into the oven for 25 minutes, and then I'll meet you back in just a second. And we'll see if we can get Mr. Reeve to rate all 5 of these. He might not be wanting to do that. He might just say, but I like them all, because he doesn't want to hurt my feelings, but we'll see if we can get him to rate them for us 1 through 5. All right, we'll see you back in a second. Here's the carrot. And chocolate chip zucchini.
Is that a banana crunch muffin?
Yeah, that's a banana crunch muffin. You like those ones, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, we finally drug him inside from working outside, all his hard labor.
Because it's so hard to get me to come inside for muffins.
Hey, I had to ask 3 times this time. That's because he was working really hard to get done the things we needed to get done.
Yep.
Okay, so before Mr. Reeve takes his taste test, no, I lied. You can go ahead. So these are the muffins we made in order, but I'm not going to tell Mr. Reeve what flavors they are, I don't think.
Oh, you're going to test me on camera,
No, just so that you cannot have a preconceived notion of what they should taste like, so you can decide on your own if they're good or not.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the first one we made. That's the last one we made. Okay, Mr. Reeve, go.
Okie doke. It smells so amazing in here.
Yeah, it smells like a bake shop.
I know, this is my favorite. Muffin.
Oh yeah, do you want to rate them in order?
Oh.
And see what you think?
They're all a 10 because they came from you.
Didn't I say something like that?
That's how you win.
Mm-hmm. I was sure I did.
Mm.
I'm going to poke at it. See, oh yeah. Still moist inside. Normally, when I bake muffins, I take them out of the oven, I let them cool just a little bit, and then I'll put them in a container, in a sealed container, so the moisture stays in, and it kind of, the steam like reconstitutes back into the muffin, and it helps them stay moist. I didn't do that this time because we made a bajillion muffins, and I didn't have time for that. But okay, you take your taste test of that one. You can finish it later. Next. Oh. People don't want to watch you eat all 5 muffins.
Bossy in there.
Getting bossy?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Dinner's coming up.
You know what's really great about the banana chips on those?
What? When I get to eat them?
When they go in the oven, they almost like refry. It's so good. So then one falls off and you eat it. It's like a French fry banana chip. So good.
Yeah.
So good. I discovered that today. Sorry, I'm poking all your muffins. I want to see how they feel on the inside. Okay, so those 2 you've had before in your life. But these other ones you haven't had. You want a cup of coffee?
Ooh.
Okay. I see, so in the time it took me to get you a cup of coffee, you polished off those first 2.
See what happens when you're not watching?
At least you didn't go ahead without me.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I knew I'd get in trouble.
All right.
Okay.
Next.
Okay.
This is the fanciest one.
I know, it's so cool. It's cool looking. Cool looking.
What do you think?
Mmm.
Oh my gosh,
wow.
It came out so beautiful. Okay.
And the top's crunchy.
Yeah, it's toasted coconut. Show them the inside.
Okay.
The real question is, what am I going to do with that other half a jar of lime curd? Who's going to eat that?
I know, guy.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Okay. Get him on the wire, right?
All right, nexty.
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 So what I want you guys to really learn about this recipe, you can keep eating, honey, is that it's versatile, right? So we made all these different muffins, and we could have made any variety we wanted. I thought of making a cranberry orange one with some dried cranberries and a little bit of orange peel. I thought about doing a lemon poppy seed one with lemon curd in the inside, but I figured one curd one was enough. But we made this with 8 basic ingredients and then half a cup of something wet and mushy. And then whatever bits and bobs of flavoring that you want.
All I heard was muffin tasting video part 2. See?
I don't know about
Ideas.
that, honey. Yeah, you're the idea man, huh?
That is amazing.
You like that one?
Yes.
That's carrot cake, huh?
Yeah,
Should I
but
make you
there's
regular
like,
carrot cake more often?
there's like regular, make me that.
Make you that?
Yeah.
Easy. Cake. So another thing that you could have done to add a little extra bonus to that carrot cake one is if you made some cream cheese frosting, you could just stick a hole in the top and squirt it right in there. It wouldn't cook it in there because that would be, it'd be all slimy. Oh, you like that one?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be all slimy, but it'd be super good to add at the end. That's zucchini from our garden.
Oh, yeah?
You grew that.
I didn't grow the chocolate chips, though.
That's accurate. Yeah, that's accurate.
Dude, if I could grow chocolate chips, oh, yeah.
We'd be millionaires.
Our garden would be expanded from here to the road.
We need more property. 40 acres of chocolate chips ain't enough.
Ain't enough.
Buy the next lot.
That's right.
So now you might wonder, what am I going to do with all these muffins? It's just the two of us, right?
Again, I know a guy.
Right. Mr. Reeve is surely going to do his fair share of polishing them off. And he can go through about 4 muffins a day. 4 muffin a day kind of guy, I think.
If I'm taking it easy.
If he's taking it easy. But all of these all of these muffins I would freeze, except for the one with the lime curd in it, just because I don't really know how the curd's going to freeze. And also, I'm going to share some of these with my beautiful neighbor who rescued me in the middle of this video when I ran out of cupcake papers, and she let me borrow them. So thanks, beautiful neighbor. Hopefully she likes the muffins too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
I'm
keep
sure she will.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
She's a pretty good cook. She's a very good cook, actually, so I'm always worried. I'm always worried. I'll make sure to leave the recipe in the description for you guys, as well as a link to Azure Standard if you're interested. And I will leave the link to the video where I made the lime curd. I think I made lemon curd, lime curd, and grapefruit curd.
The grapefruit is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that one came out really good. We usually, I make little parfaits with yogurt and curd, and that way Mr. Reeve eats not just the whole jar of curd. Yeah.
She tries.
Yeah. Yeah. You're feeding the yogurt to the dogs and you just eat the curd out.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that.
No, yeah, I know you eat all of it, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one.
So, how many of these muffins am I allowed to eat right now?
Oh, I don't know. You've been outside working all day. You can have as many as you want.